The First Descendant is rapidly approaching. With it comes an important choice. Which characters will you spend time grinding out and unlocking? Today, we're showcasing all 9 Descendants. We'll discuss their abilities, playstyles, strengths, and weaknesses so you can maximize your beta time. When you start in the First Descendant, you'll choose between Lepic, Ajax, and Viessa. This is your first major decision, so it's crucial to be happy with your choice. We'll also talk about the other 6 characters, which can be acquired later via the research vendor. They are time-consuming to unlock and invest in, so we wanted to give you an overview of each, including their abilities, strengths, weaknesses, and team playstyles. One of the first characters you can access is Lepic. He's the most accessible damage-dealing character with a familiar kit. His first ability, Grenade, is a simple thrown projectile dealing high damage. His second ability, Power Stream, augments damage, increasing all attacks, weapons, and abilities by 20%, adding a burn effect to his grenade and arm launcher. Power Stream acts as an on-demand buff lasting around 7 seconds. Lepic's third ability, Traction Grenade, pulls nearby enemies to the epicenter, taking them out of the fight for a few seconds. This is great in cooperative content against small armies of enemies and combos, well with other AoE abilities. His final active ability, Arm Launcher, turns his arm into a pseudo-rocket launcher, shooting exploding projectiles that leave a warp field, inflicting continuous damage. Lepic's passive ability, 9 Lives, allows him to ignore all damage and CC effects upon receiving fatal damage, eventually restoring 50% of his HP if he avoids further damage. Lepic is an accessible character with a straightforward toolkit, making him a great AoE damage dealer with effective group utility, perfect for any player. The second starting character, Viessa, has a more interesting kit focused on control and debuffing enemies. Her passive skill, Ice Sphere, creates an ice sphere that circles her upon inflicting Stage 2 Ice Shackle on enemies. Ice Shackle is a passive debuff decreasing enemy speed and eventually immobilizing them entirely at Stage 4. Viessa's first active ability, Ice Beam, fires a beam of ice dealing damage and applying Ice Shackle to enemies. Her second ability, Frost Fog, increases her movement speed and shield, leaving a trail of ice that damages and applies Ice Shackle. Ice Wave, her third ability, deals damage and applies Ice Shackle in an arc. Her final active ability, Blizzard, summons an icy storm that inflicts damage and Ice Shackle. Viessa is well suited for frontline combat with her offensive abilities and defensive skill, Frost Fog. She can blanket enemies in Ice Shackle and is ideal for aggressive players who like to keep the action fast-paced and enemies locked down. Ajax is the true tank of the Descendants. His passive, Void Vault, accumulates void energy as he's hit by enemy projectiles, increasing his attack. Once at max void energy, all of Ajax's abilities become enhanced. His first active ability, Reverse Door, creates a frontal shield that reflects damage when enhanced. Void Walk, his second ability, jumps and slams down, stunning enemies and increasing his max shield strength when enhanced. His third ability, Expulsion, sends out an AoE blast, knocking back enemies further when enhanced. His final ability, Hypercube, creates a dome shield, protecting allies and reflecting damage when enhanced. Ajax provides significant defensive value, making him essential for any team. His shields and knockbacks are game changers, especially during Void Intercept battles. Ajax should be considered for leveling up to provide a tanky, flexible character for both world and group content. Blair is a pyro-obsessed chef excelling in close-range combat. His passive, Flame Manipulation, increases critical hit damage and chance against burning enemies. His first ability, Stove On, places stoves on the battlefield, applying burn effects. Stove Off retrieves stoves, restoring MP and increasing defense. Flame, his third ability, emits a line of fire applying burn. His ultimate, Chef Star, creates multiple stoves, dealing massive damage. Blair is a strong dot caster, benefiting from ability cooldown, duration, and MP regeneration. He's perfect for players who enjoy close quarters combat and maintaining high skill uptime. Gley is a stance character fluctuating between two combat modes. Her passive, Death Sensor, feeds into a resource called Power of Life. Enemies killed by Gley drop life spears, restoring 5% of her max HP and granting 1 Power of Life. Her first ability, Berserk, allows her to switch stances, increasing long-distance weapon attack and penetration at the cost of HP. Life Extraction, her second ability, deals damage and reduces enemy damage in normal mode, or increases skill attack in Berserk mode. Requiem, her third ability, creates an AoE that recovers HP or negates ammo consumption. Her final ability, Nosferatu, consumes Power of Life and HP to load bullets, stunning enemies in normal mode or inflicting extra damage in Berserk mode. Gley excels in both long-range and support roles, making her a versatile team member. Build her for HP regen, max HP, physical attack, and crit stats to maximize her damage and support potential. Sharen is a concealed ambush assassin. Her passive, Assassinator, increases damage when attacking untargeting enemies. Active Camouflage conceals her, resetting if she kills an enemy. Cut Off Beat, her first ability, sweeps enemies with an electric arc. Shocknuts launches explosives, stunning enemies. Lights Out targets enemies with knives, dealing damage and applying electrocute. Sharen excels in team play, relying on stealth and quick actions. Build her for physical attack, electric attack, skill cooldown, and skill damage to maximize her ambush potential. Bunny is a fast, unique character requiring constant movement. Her passive, Dynamo, builds electricity as she moves. Her first ability, Electro Orb, targets enemies with electric damage. Joyride, her second ability, increases move speed and generates electricity. Pulsar, her third ability, pulses electric AoE damage as she moves. Circuit Breaker, her final ability, fires an electrified beam dealing heavy damage. Bunny is the go-to nuker, excelling in high AoE damage. Build her for physical attack, electric attack, mana sustain, and move speed to keep her abilities effective and her defense less of an issue. Freyna is a poison Diot dealer. Her passive Unauthorized Bullet increases damage against poisoned enemies. Venom Baptism launches poison projectiles, inflicting Room 0 trauma. Defensive Mechanism increases defense and spreads poison. Decomposed Poison creates a poison swamp, spreading poison. Dead Room switches to a machine gun, spreading Room 0 trauma. Freyna excels in medium to close range combat, spreading poison quickly. Build her for physical attack, demonic attack, poison spread, skill cost reduction, and mana regen to maximize her dot potential. Jayber is a support character specializing in turrets. His passive, Turret Sync, increases attack with both turrets active. Multi-purpose gun enhances and restores turrets. Assault turret targets enemies, and medical turret heals and taunts. Total Recall recalls turrets, dealing damage and enhancing summoned turrets. Jayber controls hordes and provides valuable HP and mana regeneration. Build him for skill attack, mana cost reduction, ability cooldown, and ability extension to keep his turrets up consistently. These 9 characters offer diverse playstyles and roles, catering to different preferences and strategies. Choose wisely and enjoy mastering your favorite descendants. And don't forget to subscribe.